Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now March 2nd of 2025, and given the Meghan Markle drama is only getting worse as time rolls by, before that March 4th debut date of her series with Love Meghan, there's a lot of things going on between herself, the Netflix executives, and the entirety of Hollywood, right? The film industry, if you will, that is beginning to collapse all around her. Her career, quote unquote, if you even want to say that she has a real career, is beginning to go downhill, whether it's with small or cameo roles in movies and or television, or if it's her backup plan that's also failing and just nosediving right now when it comes to debuting in commercials. You know, we already talked about the whole Carnival Cruise Lines deal that went sour, as well as the Geico plan, and as well as the Universal Studios Epic Universe commercials that really went nowhere. There's a lot to discuss in that realm. However, when it comes down to her blacklisting situation, this is where things begin to really go out of control when it involves Meghan Markle. Let's get into this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, one thing about Meghan Markle is that, of course, we already know that she is doing everything that she can to remain in the spotlight, to remain in the limelight, and to really just stay what she would like to consider as relevant. And that really is just failing every single day, right? On a daily basis, she is meeting more challenges because of her behavior, because of what's happening internally speaking over at Netflix, and even things that are happening in the public eye. You guys may or may not have seen that sneak peek of With Love Meghan. It's not considered a second trailer per se, but 2 days ago it released and it failed miserably. The acting was so cringeworthy, beyond belief, beyond what the test screeners even said behind closed doors. But let's get into this. Now, to top things off, with the Meghan Markle drama only getting worse, both to the internal test screenings that all failed and the arguments between herself and the executives, one significant development that is now active involves more to do with Meghan Markle's blacklisting situation within the industry and her recent behavior after this is officially beginning to spread at a faster rate. Now, a crucial update to this scenario now involves how Apple Studios was previously in the works with Meghan Markle for a handful of cameos and small roles to take part in for some of their upcoming movies, both comedic and rom-com related. Markle was reportedly set to take part in a total of, get this, 3 movie roles from Apple Studios, playing 3 different characters in the form of a cameo and or a side role, as her contract with Apple Studios was going to be around $2.5 million. Now, surprisingly, after Apple Studios learned about the Netflix drama and witnessed the awful online feedback for her series with Love Meghan, along with Meghan Markle giving them an attitude and claiming that Apple wasn't diverse enough with their cast for the projects that they were working on with her, they decided to blacklist her from any production moving onwards. This erupted into chaos where Meghan Markle warned of suing Apple Studios for discrimination. Now, the deal breaker with Apple Studios reportedly was that Meghan Markle actually wanted her roles to be politically motivated and wanted Apple's projects to drive into politics with the writing and the scripts for the comedic roles that she was offered. Now, this was a major red flag to the Apple Studios executives, where they immediately informed Meghan Markle that they are axing all of her projects and are booting her from any future projects, as they are not willing to ever work with her again. This is the 3rd studio already that blacklisted Meghan Markle within the film industry as her career begins to collapse as an actress to remain in the spotlight. Now, in addition to all of that, Meghan Markle also blamed Apple Studios for being, get this, very incompetent, unprofessional, and as overly judgmental with her politics and her political beliefs. Apple Studios reportedly wanted nothing to do with politics, to be driving in, of course, into that situation, and wanted nothing to do with her politics to be driving in Meghan's character roles, and she was offended by that decision, and this is what truly created the final nail in the coffin with this studio. Now, guys, before I move on, let me just say this. Now, the fact that Meghan Markle obviously always wants politics to be dragged into her roles, right? Whether it's movies or television, and they always fail, right? They never really meet the final product. She tried to do this with Netflix, and we'll see whatever remains on March 4th, but we know that Netflix scrubbed a lot of footage that involved Meghan Markle dragging in politics and politically driven comments into her series with Love Meghan. and that was actually stripped a lot by the editors. You know, they were demanded by Greg Peters, the CEO over at Netflix, who thankfully convinced the board of directors that maybe, just maybe, we had to re-edit this series to a certain extent, and they did. But no matter how much editing you do, no matter how much rearranging you do, for a show like this, it's not going to fix things in the grand scheme, right? It's not going to fix everything altogether. And that's where you really begin to realize that there's a lot of things going on here between Meghan Markle and the Netflix executives. She's really caught up in that mess, and now, with Apple Studios, it's really no different, because she tried to get politics in there. She tried to throw in politically driven comments for her characters. You know, again, these are cameo roles. These are small side characters that were supposed to be in their upcoming comedy movies and rom-com movies / action films, etc., etc. That was never going to work out in the long run. Apple Studios realized that the majority of the general public, especially within the United States, there's this major cultural shift right now where nobody wants to actually listen to garbage politics in entertainment. Whether it's movies, television, video games, whatever it may be, anything out there, they don't want to actually have to sit through politics. They want an escape. That's the whole point of movies, right? Is an escape. Or when it comes to television, you want to escape from reality for a couple of hours. But again, what's interesting about this too is that, to continue on here, is that this is the very same studio which, by the way, Alec Baldwin and George Clooney had a falling out with the action comedy film that went nowhere. Meghan Markle is, of course, already frantically trying to latch on to as many roles as she can, quite frankly, as her Netflix contract has a very likely chance of expiring beyond 2025 without a renewal. So again, there's a major division at Netflix. You have some board members that want her to stay, others want her to get the boot. They want to get rid of her ASAP, and they don't want to deal with her anymore moving onwards. And you know what? I don't blame the rest of the board of directors, because if you keep Meghan Markle partnered with Netflix, it's going to hurt your image. It's going to lead to more subscriber counts going down, and they're going to really see, you know, the consequences in the coming months. Now, in addition to all of this, Markle is also in the process of challenging some of the decisions made by Netflix. With their marketing cutbacks for her series with Love Meghan, Markle is also planning to go public about her falling out with Apple Studios and the blacklisting with that studio, and failing to obtain 3 movie roles that she actually believed were going to be rejuvenating to her career. Now, again, we already know that Meghan Markle, basically her plan is to just get as many small and cameo roles as possible, you know, generally speaking, with multiple studios, to maybe get a shot at getting a major role in a major movie. And it just seems like at this point she's trying way too hard. She's really trying way too hard to what she likes to say as relevant, or to actually be considered a top-tier actress. And I think that you see a lot of that inauthentic behavior in the series with Love Meghan. In that sneak peek clip, I don't know if you guys saw it, it was awful. It was something that I think nobody could even sit through. I'm surprised that the test screeners were even able to do that. And again, I mean, we'll be talking about this once this thing debuts on March 4th. This way you guys don't have to, but we have a lot to discuss. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.